Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use compression. And I'm going to show you how to really use compression. So first of all, I'm going to put a link here to the video I did quite a while ago on compression and what the parameters do and all that fun stuff. This video is really going to be demonstrating what I'm looking to achieve when I'm using compression, what I'm looking for, what the sounds that I want to get out of it, and how we will use compression to go about doing that. So I'll be briefly explaining the parameters, but not really in depth. I'll just assume you know what they do. So first of all, I'll demonstrate how to use it on a kick and what kind of things I'm looking for when I'm using it. So I'll just use the Platinum Digital on Logic. This will be applied to every compressor that you can use, but this is just what I'm demonstrating it on. So first of all, I'm just going to turn the auto gain off and the auto attack and release off so we can properly play around with it. So first of all, of course, I'll solo the kick and set up a little loop. So I've got very little processing on any of this yet. It's a very new track that I started like 2 days ago. Just got a little bit of EQ on this kick, and now just going to put a bit of compression on it to make it sound punchier. I really want to bring it forward. It's got quite a nice click on it that I want to bring out, and I want to use compression to do that. So I want to make it nice and punchy. So this is what it sounds like without any compression. So straight away it's made it sound a little bit punchier, but it's still not quite right. So we're going to have a look at the reduction here. So we just want to bring the threshold up, if anything, because that's quite a lot of reduction. And this is going to go up again anyway, because my general rule of thumb is a 4:1 ratio on a kick. It can be whatever you want, and again I'm going to tweak this anyway to get it how I want it to be. But let's have a listen now as well. So again, I think it's sounding a bit punchier too. Going to give it a little bit of a boost with makeup gain, not too much. Again, we don't want to make it too loud because we might confuse the fact that it's louder with actually sounding better. So I don't tend to do that too much at this stage. Also want to adjust the knee. Now this is something I know a lot of people don't particularly understand. And the knee is how the compressor is compressing the signal essentially, like how hard it's compressing it. So you've got a soft knee and you've got a hard knee. At the moment it's on a soft knee, so it's gradually compressing it, opposed to when it's on a hard knee, when as soon as the signal hits the threshold, it squashes it, and that's what we want for sounds like this. For aggressive sounds and sounds that are already quite punchy, use a hard knee. It'll make it even punchier because it's going to squash it as soon as that signal hits the threshold. So it's really good for kicks, snares, some basses, like distorted guitars, things like that. It's really, really good for. But equally, if you're messing around with it and you think you like the sound of the soft knee better, do it. There's absolutely no reason why not. That's the thing with compression, is that a lot of people get stuck in a rut thinking, oh, have to use this ratio, have to use this knee setting, have to use this attack. You don't. You can do whatever you like as long as it sounds good to you. So let's have a listen to what it sounds like with a hard knee. So that sounds really punchy. If we compare that to the soft knee, it's coming forward loads now, and we're getting that real nice click out of it. I'm going to shorten the attack a little bit. So again, the attack is going to be how quickly the compression kicks in, essentially. So again, you want a quick attack for quick sounds. So instruments that do actually have a quick attack themselves. So any drums, I don't tend to use it on cymbals or anything like that, but toms, kicks, snares, again, guitar, bass, things like that, it's really, really good for. So I'm just going to shorten it a bit. And so it's just coming in a bit quicker, but I'll show you what it sounds like even quicker and longer as well. Not sure about having it that quick, as in having it instant. I prefer easing it in a little bit, so I tend to stick about 5 for a kick, but it depends on what you're using. And now the release. So the release will be how quickly the compressor lets go of the signal. This helps with transients a lot, so we haven't got too much on this, but if you're using on toms, for instance, when you hit the tom initially, it's got a very fast attack, but you've also got that resonance that happens afterwards, so the tom itself is ringing out, and the release will help you hold on to that. It'll make that louder as well. Haven't got too much of that on this kick, we've just got that initial hit. We can always make it a little bit longer if we like. It is quite subtle, but it is somewhat affecting the very short tail that's on the kick, so it doesn't even need to be that long. I'll probably just leave it at about 100 or so. And now this is when I'll go back and I'll pretty much tweak everything again to focus in and hone in on the sound that I'm after. So I'm going to adjust the ratio now as well. I'm going to bring it up if anything. Makes it sound really, really punchy there. So that's a pretty hard compression. Wouldn't go above that necessarily. If you want to, absolutely fine, but so it's really thumping there. Might drop it back down. Definitely leave the knee where it is. I'm happy with that. So I'm pretty happy with that end result. So things that I'm looking for when doing the kick is what kind of knee I want to use, so how hard the compression is going to come in, having a relatively fast attack or a very fast attack depending on what kind of sample I'm using. Similar with the release. Ratio anywhere between 3:1 and 6:1, pretty good. If you want it really, really punchy, then certainly the higher, but if you want to have a softer sound, then definitely go lower. And then the threshold and the makeup gain totally depend on what you're using and how much reduction you want going on. And now I'm going to demonstrate what to do on a bass. So I've just got a bass line here. Again, very little editing on it, just a bit of EQ. And this is what it sounds like normally. Now we'll chuck our compressor on as well. So same again, just get the Platinum Digital up and we'll rinse and repeat. So again, I want to make this sound nice and punchy. I want to give it quite a lot of body. So it sits nicely in the mix. So again, turn these off and we'll do the same thing. So probably bring the threshold up a bit, it's a lot of reduction, give it a bit of a boost now. Cool. Now we'll start playing with the ratio, how much we want to squash it by. So that's sounding quite good. And again, for the knee, this kind of depends. I'll probably use a hard knee again, but I'll demonstrate all of them anyway. So really soft knee. So you can hear when it's from 0 and on 1, there's quite a big difference, but when you're gradually changing it, there's not too much going on. And well, there's a fair bit as well between 0.1 and 0, because it still is technically a soft knee if it's on 0.1, but it's not quite as drastic. But I'll probably keep it on 0 for this. Over the release and attack again, so have a quicker attack on that. I'm probably going to increase the release on this as well, because the sound itself has quite a quick attack, but there's also quite a lot of sound afterwards as well, so I want to compress that too. I'm going to increase the attack again, see how it changes it. Okay, so it's starting to sound a little bit punchier. I think again the ratio needs to come up a little bit. So again, I'm going to go through and do them again. Yeah, sounds better. Cool, so I'm happy with that. This will still need a little bit of tweaking, I think, because again, all of this will need tweaking in the mix. I'm just isolating them now because it's easy to demonstrate the changes that are actually happening. And lastly, I'm just going to demonstrate on some chords. So I've just got some choppy chords down here, and we want these to be a bit softer. So we don't want these to sound punchy, we just want to level them out a little bit so that they sit quite nicely in the mix, okay? So, as I said, softer compression on this, so we're not going to use too much of a ratio, and again we're going to use a softer knee as well. Got a very fast attack on it again because it's quite choppy, and we still want a bit of a longer release on it, so it hangs on to that a little bit more, but not too much. Attack's probably about right actually. How it sounds with a hard knee. You can hear it's come up quite a lot there as well. So that's made them sound quite punchy, but I don't really want that. Because if everything sounds punchy in a mix, nothing's going to sound punchy. So we want this to be a bit softer. That's better. Cool. So these settings are more of a soft compression. So we've got the soft knee going on, quite a low ratio, well, really quite a low ratio. Not a really quick attack, but not a slow one either, so kind of that middle ground, and a decent length release, so that it's just quite a subtle compression. It's not in your face. We don't want this to stand out hugely. It's a background noise. So in essence, these are the things that I'm looking for when I use compression. What am I using on? Is it something I want to sound punchy? Yes. Higher ratio, hard knee, quick attack, depends on the release. Is it a softer sound? Opposite. Lower ratio, soft knee, quicker attack, quicker release. For vocals, that kind of depends. If you're doing like metal vocals or something like that, then you want a harder compression, but if you're doing much softer vocals or like backing vocals and harmonies, softer compression for sure. You don't want it to sound too punchy, but if it's a real forward, real big sounding tune, then yeah, slightly harder compression. I wouldn't necessarily use a hard knee on it still, and not a higher ratio, so like 3:1, 4:1, that kind of area. But it depends. If you want it to sound punchy, by all means. There's lots and lots of wiggle room for this. As I said at the beginning, it is what you want it to be. There's no right or wrong answer. If you want your vocals to sound immensely punchy, absolutely go ahead. If you want your drums to sound much softer, use a softer compression on them. It's entirely up to you. But hopefully this video will help you make more informed decisions about how to use your compression. And I hope that you've learned something. So I hope this video has been useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.